Welcome back, everybody. So tonight we're going to continue working on the wagon. I know it's been a while since I've done anything to it, but it's been really rainy and cold here in Southern California lately. Well, not lately, it's been about a month, but anyways. I'm going to get to work on the wagon again. So what I'm doing right now is I got to fix this tailgate. So this is the original tailgate. I've already done a bunch of work to it. You can see the burn marks from where I pulled some dents. But you see this strip all the way down here? It's holy. You hit it with a hammer, you start seeing all the rust in it. And it goes all the way down here. Well, basically the whole bottom of it. There's a little bit right there that I'll have to address as well. That turns into a question. Do I patch here, 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 and here? Or do I cut the whole strip out and put one strip all the way across? I'm debating whether I should just cut the whole thing off. There's two edges right here, this bottom edge and this top like ridge. So I want to cut right under the ridge. I have this body line right here to work up against, but you see how that holds right there? But I want to cut right below that if I have to cut the whole thing. I might just patch it. I don't know. It's a lot of work either way. I'm gonna try to keep the damage in between these two lines I just scribed. I painted it red so you can make the line easier to see. So I'm gonna make my first cut. I still don't know if I should go all the way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go all the way. The reason I went up here is because there's an edge right here from the other panel. So I'm gonna try to keep it right above that edge so I can have something solid to weld to. Because it's not rusty down here, it's mostly up in here. So we're gonna cut it from here and from here all the way across, and then we'll transfer over to this piece. So it doesn't fit too bad on the top, but you see these big holes right here, or these big gaps in it. I'm gonna fill it with some welding rod, only because I don't want to make another piece, and this tailgate will get replaced hopefully if I can find one. But for now, let's just get it in there so we can get this thing back together.
with that piece finally cut out, I was able to get to this little dent that I had here. That's what I'm doing right now with this pry bars. I'm trying to just flex the metal out because it was very difficult to get from behind the panel. There was no access to it. So now that I had this cut, it was a good time to take care of this.
So this panel right here is not completely flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the vise, put a little bit of a curve in it, and then I'll start tacking it at the bottom right here, all the way at the bottom. You know, I'll put one here, one there, one on the top, and then I'll start slowly rolling it so it can give me a little bit of a curve right there. And I might just cut that out. We'll see. All right, so we got most of it welded on. Right here, I didn't weld it on because I started welding it and see how thin it is right there. So I think I'm gonna make this piece before I continue welding. I'm gonna make it out of this. So it's good to have scrap pieces of steel everywhere.
Now this piece was a little harder to make, well actually a lot harder to make than I anticipated. What I did right there is I measured the edge of that, which is about 1/4 inch. I scribed it onto the piece of steel, and then I brought it over to the vise and I put it right at the edge of that scribe, and now I'm bending it over with a hammer. I'm making the metal fold over because that edge is the body line that I'm gonna try and follow, so I don't have to use too much body filler when I finally get it back on. I'm gonna go ahead and test fit the piece, and the edge is pretty close to where I need it. So now I gotta get the concave shape of the tailgate, that little edge. So what I did is I laid the piece down, and I'm gonna hammer against the original tailgate, the new piece hammered against the original tailgate to give me that shape. So I'm gonna take it back over to the vise. I'm gonna use this dolly right here and then try to flatten it all out so I can continue keeping that shape. Now if you take a look at that dolly, see how it has that round shape? That round shape is gonna help me keep that body line or keep that concave shape all the way through. So when I go to weld it, I'm not gonna have too much warpage. At least I hope I don't have too much warpage. So now that I'm test fitting the piece, it looks pretty close. I got the shape that I wanted. It's right at the edge where I can get a good weld on there. So next step is just to burn it in there, and let's see how close we get. Well, after a whole bunch of work, it's done. Well, not completely done. I still got to fill a few little holes. Like right there, a few holes here and there. But the majority of the big work is done. It came out pretty decent. The only thing I don't like, if I put a straight edge right here, so if you look at that big old gap, that's not good.
That's gonna be way too much body filler. So I'm gonna see if I can I got those studs, and I'm gonna try to lift that up so I use the least amount of body filler on there. Now this tailgate is pretty much shot. The whole bottom of this tailgate is pretty rusty. I don't know if you saw when I was welding some of these pieces, you could see straight through and there was just mounds of rust. Looks like they left it like sitting full of mud right here. I had to clean a lot of the mud out. This part right here, I gotta work it because it ended up warping more than I wanted to. So I'm gonna have to pound on it to get it lower because I'm gonna need a lot of body filler on this one. But thanks again for joining me, everybody. Please like and subscribe, leave me a comment, and also, you know what, leave me some tips. I'm not an expert by any means. I wanted to try this to see how it would come out. It didn't come out as good as I wanted it to come out, but I mean, I tried it. I can't find one of these tailgates out here. If I ever find one, I'm gonna replace it. That's not all rusty. Like I said, this thing is pretty much shot. I just wanted to get it together so I can get it primed, get it back on the car, and move on to the next thing on that car so I can finally get it on the road. So thanks again, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one.